Hi everyone and welcome to Filipino Time. Today we have these beautiful vintage watches in front of us, and we'll be talking about vintage watch collecting in general, how to get started, and what to look out for. And joining us are, well, some vintage watch junkies, pun fully intended, to help us, on this journey of vintage watches. So, Japs Pelinio and Annie Santos are here to join us, and thank you again for coming back.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us back again.
You're always welcome, especially if you bring this.
Noted.
No, okay. Well, we'll save that for later. But let's start with the watch that we started with in your episode, Annie, which is this beautiful Seamaster. So, what makes this watch a really good vintage watch buy?
Okay, it's a good buy because I was able to get as much of the original watch intact, meaning the glass is etched, so I know it's the original glass. The crown is also original, it's signed, and so is the buckle. So usually, when it gets repaired or something, you need to you replace the crown.
Yes.
So then you lose the original.
I
and
see.
the buckle, normally it's with a strap.
Yes, that's right.
So it also gets replaced,
Yeah.
and you lose the buckle.
Especially with the leather straps, of course. Over time, you can't
Yes,
help it to degrade.
Yes, it gets worn, so obviously you need to eventually replace it with.
I
So this one coming with a crown and with a buckle really adds more value to it.
I see.
If ever you do get one that's really
Something to look out for.
Yes.
Okay. Well, you talked about the etching on the glass, and well, let's move to this Rado because this one is probably very, very visible in terms of the etching, no? So, where would you look for the etching? Where would you normally start?
Not all watch brands have etching on their
Okay.
glasses, no? So, two brands that I know, which of course there's a lot, pero hindi ko masyadong familiar.
Yes.
Particular is Rado. So, you can see it in the middle usually.
Okay, like in this one, gitnang-gitna. No?
Yes, gitna-gitna. You can see an anchor, very little.
Yeah, that's right.
For
That's right.
Yeah, for some you will not gonna see it in your naked eye, but if you try to look at it in, let's say for example, a microscope
Or magnifying glass or
magnifying
something.
glass, yes, it will be very visible.
I see. What other brands would have this? You said Omega's one, Rado's another. Those are the two, for sure, meron.
Brands that I know, yeah.
I see. So if any of you in the audience there and the viewers at home, if you know any other brands that have that etching on the glass, please do let us know and help educate other vintage watch junkies. So this is one of the examples of etched glass. This one we saw. This is a beautiful, almost like a sunburst pattern here on the case, but there's a very deep scratch on one corner. What advice would you give, watch collectors? Would you have this buffed? Would you have it, cleaned up? What do you recommend?
For me personally, it's a matter of preference.
I see.
No? Kasi for sure, yung issue na yan kasi is very debatable.
Okay.
So, to each his own, sabi nga. So, there are some who want their cases
Pristine.
Looking new.
polished,
Yes.
as if it traveled to a time machine.
Yes.
So for me kasi yung mga scratches, it adds character to the watch.
I see.
So for me as a fan of vintage watches, significant yung mga scratches for me because let's say for example my own personal experience,
Yes.
it's a conversation piece.
Okay.
And at the same time it provides originality to the watch. Parang for vintage watches kasi it gives justice kapag you keep it as is, or
I
let's
see.
say for example you found it that way, you keep it that way.
I
So,
see.
but again, I'm saying this as a watch fan,
Yes.
and it's not the full fact kasi very debatable nga siya, and the topic is very subjective.
I see.
So for me, it's just really a matter of my preference talaga would be
Leave it as is.
Leave it as is, yes.
I see.
Even with the crystals,
Yes.
kahit sobrang dami na niyang scratches.
Like
For
we're
me,
looking at this one. This is an example you wanted to bring out.
Yep.
So, a beautiful, beautiful gasut. But yeah, I mentioned deep
Very
scratches
deep
na siya.
scratches on the crystal, yes.
You leave it as is na lang.
yes, I'll leave it as is. Plus kasi, not all glasses kasi are, most of the vintage watches glasses kasi are, plastic.
Yes, yes.
So, very sensitive din siya.
I see.
When you polish it kasi, umiinit kasi yung glass. So, it could break.
Oh, okay.
So, yun yung isa sa mga downsides.
Yes.
So, if you're willing to take that risk and you want your glass polished, ayaw makita ng scratch, then it's okay. Pero for me, hindi mo siya mape-preserve kasi yung possibility for it to break when you polish it, nandun. So, for me, I'll leave it as it is.
I see. Is there any effect, let's say, in general, no? Of course, I guess sabi mo to each his own, but in general, does it affect the value? Is one generally more valuable than the other na polished versus unpolished?
Okay. Again, that's very subjective. No?
Yes.
Siguro, like what Annie have mentioned with the Omega being complete and all original in terms of the buckle and the crown. For me, it's good to have. It's a good to have.
Yes.
Yeah.
Pero,
Forgivable if they're not.
yes.
Okay.
Kasi parang we have to face the fact that these watches have lived like
very long
40,
life.
a very
Longer
long
than
life.
us.
Yes. I've seen the world long time.
Yes.
So,
that's nice. That's nice. They've seen the world for a long. Maganda yan,
Yes.
I'll remember that. That's a nice way to put it.
So, for me, forgivable na yung buckles are replacements.
Yes.
Pero ang pinaka-common dyan would be the crown.
Yes.
Okay.
But for me, it's totally forgivable as long as the movement is intact.
Yeah.
And for me, pet peeve ko talaga yung dial eh.
I see.
So, for me, it has to be all original regardless if it's siguro destroyed or discolored.
Like this one, you're saying that this one is an example of an original dial. Medyo, it's got some discoloration. It's obviously very patinad.
Correct.
So you would prefer this rather than something that was redialed but clean.
Repainted.
Yes.
That's a repainted. I see. You're saying earlier that the problem with repainting also is done by hand.
Yes.
So
mostly kasi for the originals, they're being printed eh.
Yes.
Stamped.
Yes.
So for the redials, at least for those that I know, no,
Yes.
they do it by hand. So yung mga strokes, we have different penmanships or strokes. And syempre yung level of expertise of the ones that are doing it.
Yes.
So it varies.
I understand.
And those are small letters.
Correct.
Yeah. Really,
So,
so like, I have to-
exactly. So
I can barely read
imagine
it.
how they would, diba, try to redo it.
I see. Yes.
So,
Yes.
that's gonna be hard. I mean, if they don't have the tools, like, the stamp itself, that's practically difficult not to
Yes.
parang
Yes.
make it straight or that's gonna be hard.
I can imagine, and it won't look so nice anymore.
Yes.
Or I leave it as is na lang.
Yep.
Yeah, so that's one way also of knowing if it's, repainted, redialed, no. When it's no longer stamped, you'll immediately know that it's painted. Even the indices, you'll see when they've actually tried to make the colors, back to original.
Yeah.
Yung hindi na siya discolored. Ang dali niyang malaman.
And sometimes the hands, the color of the hands are different to the.
Yes, that's another thing.
Oh, that's a good tip. That's a good tip.
Yep.
Sa indices, magkakaiba sila ng kulay.
But I'm not saying all of them kasi there are some through age kasi nag-iiba talaga yung color. So makikita mo yung mga indices niya or indices. Different color siya from the hands.
I see.
Hindi lahat replacement pagka nakakita ka na gano'n. Kasi there are some different kasi yung material that were used.
I
So,
see.
So it could be
A little bit different because of the
Different,
material.
yes,
So one
different
could have been gold, one could have been steel, for
Yes.
example.
And
Okay.
pinaka-common siguro brass.
Okay.
Kasi yung color ng brass kasi is parang yellow na coin eh.
Yes.
Tapos yung hands copper. So minsan yung copper kasi
okay.
na copper na
It
na
turns
reddish.
Yeah, it turns reddish brown.
Yeah. So pag in time, magkaiba na siya yung kulay
I
niya.
see, I see. Well, speaking of the indices, and I know you're talking about and the loom and the indices of this beautiful, beautiful vertex. And you were saying that there's a very interesting story about when this watch was being doubted for its originality.
Okay. Again, going back to how we got to this watch.
Yes.
So, one of your followers from Taiwan saw the video of Japs and offered us this watch. I don't think he was really a watch collector.
Yeah.
But I guess he was just particularly interested with the Dirty Dozen.
Yes.
He bought it from...
He was very young. He was
very
like
young then.
early 20s.
Oh wow,
Yeah.
okay.
So, this watch was bought from an Instagram page that sells watches.
Okay.
Before kasi when we saw it, it was just too clean.
Because
Again,
it is really,
it
really
is really
clean.
clean. So,
it looks almost new. I
We
mean,
kinda had some hesitation on
especially the dial looks so new.
if it's redialed. But going back, yung sinabi ni Japs kanina, no? It's clean, but if you look at the numbers, it's not something that you could paint that straight.
Yes.
So that tells you that's original because it looks like it's stamped.
Yes.
So, but again, when we first saw it, we had our hesitation na, okay, this is just way too clean. So, of course, we were trying to press the guy, the seller, to tell us if
Yes.
it's really original, if he did something. And to be honest, the guy was saying, I bought it as is. So again,
Okay.
I don't think he was really a watch collector.
Yes.
So, he just kept on saying, no, I bought it that way
Yes.
already. I didn't do anything. Eventually, he sent us a lot of photos, told us, do your own checking, yada yada. Until he also shared with us that exact Instagram page.
Okay, where he bought it from.
Exactly. So, he told us, okay, this particular post, that is that watch that I bought.
Okay.
So when we checked it out, we checked on the thread.
Yeah, little comments.
Yes, on the comments. So there was this one guy, trying to be a guru for the Dirty Dozen.
Internet experts, I call them.
So claiming that it's something too good to be true, that it's
Yeah,
properly
yeah.
dialed. And then he posted also a photo of his Dirty Dozen.
Okay.
Whose hands were practically out of loom.
Okay.
Talagang wasted yung
Yes.
ano niya.
Which is more common, I suppose.
I guess. And I'm sure there would be kasi it was used
Yes.
in the war, diba?
That's right, that's right.
Surprisingly, Vertex Watches, yung page ni Vertex
Yeah.
Watches in Instagram, replied and said that it was
Oh, wow.
original. It was a perfect vintage Vertex.
So, it doesn't mean that it looks new, it's necessarily reloomed. You really have to really look closer and look at the details. And it helps if like the manufacturer says, it's fine, it's good.
Right.
When he said that, okay,
Yeah.
we will buy this.
Value up.
Definitely it was good. That was the only thing
Certificate of authenticity up.
yes, we got it.
For free.
For free, yeah, for
Yes,
free.
exactly, for free. So, with this one, if you look into the loom, it's not as bright
Yes.
anymore. It's not as, I guess, green. Tama
Yeah.
ba? Again, because of the age, it does
Yeah, it degrades.
degrades as well. So, normally it's color gray or
Yes.
Or yellow, yeah.
So,
But obviously you can see the age from the...
Yeah, that's
case.
right.
the
That's right.
case,
Yeah, the case is very. I
obviously
can
gives
see.
away the
Well,
age.
even the hands, the loom on the hands is a little bit worn, no. But in general, it's so. Vertex, I want to give you a shout out. Thank you for clearing this up. More watch brands should be like you. Thank you.
Yeah, so that's the story behind it.
Galing. Well, and that's something I want to talk about that's very interesting. I always used to say that as much as that you're buying the watch, you're buying the seller. Right? You want to buy a watch from someone who has a really good reputation in the community, in the hobby, in the industry, right? What are some of the things that you guys look for in a seller, or what do you look for when you actually go into buying the watch, aside from the watch itself? Like, what avenues would you recommend people to go by, and how to acquire these kinds of pieces?
Ako siguro, when I started out, I was also looking into eBay, the
Yes.
auctions and all that. I check into the seller, like, ano yung rating niya, what do people who have bought, say about, and also the amount of people who have bought from him.
I see, yes.
So at least that tells me credible ba siya and all that. Normally din naman, they post a lot of photos, including the movement.
I see.
So you'll have an idea of what looks inside and outside of the
Yes.
watch. So at least from from the pictures, you'll have a good idea if you're buying a good watch. And then yun nga, from the ratings, you'll know if you could also trust the seller.
I see.
Same thing here, I guess, with like his page, and with him naman kasi he uses the watch. It's
Yeah.
a lot from a collection that just became too many, so he
Yeah.
needed a way to buy
Dispose
more.
it.
And the only
Sell
way to
to
do
buy.
that is to sell.
Sell to buy.
Sell first before you buy more.
But like this one, you told me that you just happened upon this by luck, just walking around somewhere. How did you come upon this watch?
Okay,
Online.
we bought that from my parang resident watchmaker.
Okay.
So back then kasi, even before my page, since nag-start ako mag-collect ng watch, I would speak with or talk with yung mga bangketa watchmakers.
Okay.
Yung mga makikita
That's
mo.
the bangketa. Okay, yeah.
Yes.
But I know what you mean. I know
So,
exactly what you mean.
Yung mga mostly ang business na nila would be palit ng battery.
Yes,
all that.
yes.
But most of them are really good watchmakers. So I would really try to get to know them by having conversations with them, even if I'm
Okay.
not buying.
Okay.
So I happen to know this
Bangketa
watchmaker.
Okay.
Si Kuya Victor.
Okay. Hi, Kuya Victor.
Hi, Kuya Victor. So I've been sending my watches to him for siguro 3 or 4 years.
Where's Kuya
now.
Victor? Where's his son?
In Pasig City, San Joaquin.
Okay.
So, I've been sending my watches to him siguro for 3 or 4 years now.
Okay.
So, he's a very good repair guy.
Oo.
Kasi, some of the watches na I bring to siguro mga magagandang watchmakers, hindi nila naayos. But when I bring it to him,
Nagagawa niya.
So,
I see.
there was this one time, actually just this June,
June 12.
I went
Okay.
to him kasi nagpa-service ako nagpalinis ako ng isa kong watch.
Yes.
And then, nakita ko dun sa parang standing niya, yung watch.
It's a 1982 divers. I don't.
Ladies divers.
Ladies divers.
Sa ladies divers.
I mean,
So it's, anong size to?
36.
36. So
36,
I
37.
think it's pretty small for
82,
Seiko.
yes,
I'm not
82.
really well versed with Seiko.
And then if you see the movement inside, it's way smaller.
I see.
So, I asked him, sabi ko sa kanya, are you selling this one? Sabi niya, oh sir, ano yan? For sale yan.
Okay.
Since I know him personally naman, and he would tell me all the time, whenever I ask or I inquire for the watch, kung all original or kung pinalitan niya. Actually, that's the very first watch that I bought from him. So never talaga akong bumili sa
okay,
kanya.
yes.
I only go to him for repairs.
Service,
So he told me it's all original except for the box, for the strap,
Yes.
because it's with a rubber, parang Seiko
that
rubber
actually came with
strap.
a rubber strap, but
Yeah.
it was just way too long.
And everything is original. The glass is original. Movement is original.
Yes.
It's newly serviced. So I asked him about the price, and then parang, wow, okay.
Give you a good price kasi
Yes,
suki
he
ka
gave me
na.
a good price. Oo, kasi suki na ako. So, I went back to the car and showed it to her. Sabi ko, oh, baka gusto mo. So, parang wow, okay. Na-surprise kami kasi. Yes.
Oh, okay.
That's my first Seiko.
Wow, your first Seiko. Most people start with Seiko vintage and then sa'yo baliktad
Baliktad yun sa kanya.
So it's
Okay.
my first Seiko.
So, yun, I went back to Kuya Victor. I paid it right away.
Yeah.
Pagbalik namin sa bahay, yung first assignment ko, na-research ko siya agad.
I
Kasi
see.
ang ganda niya eh.
Yes,
so,
yes.
Good to be true.
It's beautiful and it's the proportions are right.
Even
It's
the
not
bezel, as in it's
Yeah,
clean.
tama lang. Tama lang.
Wala siyang scratches at all.
So I researched, I found out that it's from August 1982. And who told you na siya, yung mga 1982 watches are
my brother.
yeah.
My brother first. He's been
So-
looking for his BMBY for a really long time and so far
I
Hindi pa
guess
siya
Seiko's in the
nakatsyempo.
1980s. I'm not really sure why they're,
You know, I also don't
quite
know.
hard to find.
It's easy to find 70s. 80s is actually kind of, even to a certain extent 90s, but 80s are so hard to find talaga. I don't know why. Never figured out. If you guys know why it's so hard to find 80s Seikos, please let us know. And just in case, for my brother's sake, if you happen to have a February 1982, please leave a
Shout
comment
out.
below. Yeah, please. And we'd be more than happy to take it off your hands for a reasonable price. After Annie and Japs take a look and make sure it's good. But
Yeah, so that was a really good buy. It was a surprise. We were really, out there looking for one.
Yeah.
We just happened to chance upon one, and it was just too good not to get.
so it pays to be nice to your watchmaker.
Exactly.
It pays to talk to them. Like sabi mo nga, diba, you talk to them, you get to know them, so that they tell you exactly what you have in front of you.
That's another thing. How if you trust them, if they tell you it's all original,
Yes.
then that should be your best seal of
And siguro that's one of the best examples na hindi lang yung mga online pages are the venues
Yes.
for good watches.
Yes.
If you study it, learn about watches, do your homework, may mga chances that you will stumble upon those watches in the rough.
Yeah, and those would be actually your best buys.
Yeah, I guess.
Yes.
Find them in the wild.
Correct.
Yes.
All right.
So
Well-
there are different ways to get vintage watches. Yeah.
Especially nowadays kasi nag-boom siya eh.
Nag-boom.
Yeah, that's right. That's
There's-
right.
Especially in my own experience, no, most of my customers are millennials now. So
Really?
imagine,
They like
not
vintage
even
na rin,
middle-aged gentlemen, millennials.
me.
So that's
Middle-aged like me.
you.
Middle-aged. No, but it's true.
Ako
Yeah,
old
but it's
age.
very true. Grabe naman, hindi naman siguro. Let's not talk about age anymore.
Age of watch.
Age of watches na lang.
So apparently, millennials are into old stuff now. So, puro millennials talaga yung mga nag-i-inquire sa akin.
Well, they have, like you said, they have character.
Mm-hmm.
They have very interesting stories, as we talked about before. And I think because it's not something that everyone can just have,
Right.
I think that's part of the attraction, diba? That
Mm-hmm.
not anyone can just find one of these, but when you found it and you have it, not everyone can just say, pupunta ako to the store and buy one just like that. So thanks guys again for coming out and sharing your experiences and your wisdom and your knowledge. And I hope you guys out there learned a lot. I learned a lot. I had a lot of fun. And if you have any other questions to ask Japs or Annie or me, maybe you don't want to ask me any questions, ask them. But if you have any questions to ask any of us, please leave them in the comments below. We'll try to go through all of the questions and all the comments, and maybe in a future episode we can come back and look at those questions.
Sure. Yes.
Try to answer these questions and help out the community, which is what Filipino time is all about. So, any last suggestions or advice for our viewers?
For me, one of the reasons why I will continue to collect vintage watches, I mean, they're heirlooms, they could last a lifetime if you take care of them really well. It's something that I guess I'd like to pass on to my children, and I want to contribute to the story of the watch, I guess.
That's nice. I like that.
That's-
Contribute to
that's
story.
for
Watch.
me.
I like that.
Continue the life of the watch and have my contribution to it. So, I do hope we get to encourage some people out there to start their own journey.
Japs, anything?
For me naman, siguro it's more fundamental. If for those who are planning to start their own watch collection or to collect watches, study your watches muna.
Okay.
Know the difference between manual wind,
Yes.
automatic, quartz, because very common siguro concerns that people would ask me about is, let's say for example, for my customers na that would buy watches from me, if the watch arrives na hindi umaanda, sasabihin nila sira.
Sira, but actually manual wind.
When it's actually manual wind. So,
Happened to me once. Happened to me.
so yeah, study your watches, and minsan kasi fad siya eh.
Yes.
Pero if you really want to take this to heart, siguro parang the more that you have knowledge about your watch, the more that you get to appreciate it more. Not because it's uso,
Yes.
but because you have a certain connection with the watch.
Okay, I agree. So, and with that, guys, thanks very much. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and I really did. So, we'll see you next time, and take care.